It's the week before Thanksgiving, and we've got so much to be thankful for, even if the Big East isn't off to the best of starts. Of course, UConn gave us reason to smile, and we'll talk about the Big East's biggest win of the young season. Also, in the spirit of the upcoming holiday, we're going to pair each Big East program with a course from Thanksgiving dinner. Stick around to hear who is the turkey, who is the gravy, and who is the stale canned greens. It's all next on Big East Beat. Everybody, and welcome to this edition of Big East Beat. We're part of the Big East Energy Network. I'm Matt Janis, host of the Holy Nova podcast, alongside my partner on that podcast, David White, and the host of Pirate Vibes, Brian Webster. Boys, it's the week before Thanksgiving. We will not be doing a show next week in honor of the holiday. Travels to go see family in town. I don't have a studio next week. It's also my guest room. So my wife said no chance whatsoever. So we got it this week, and there's no better holiday to talk about for three guys that, well, look at it.
Wait a minute. So next week there's no Holy Nova either?
And there will be one Holy Nova. There will not be a second Holy Nova.
Because I need my double episode of Caden Lewis Glory Talk. Because first of all, before we start, Najee Hines should have been in Freshman of the Week, but whatever. I know we're not popular. But that's right.
Didn't win the vote. Well, I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know where that vote is, but like the guy leads the nation in blocks. But who am I? We'll just take this freshman that whatever.
19.6 assists.
I'm in the holiday spirit. Let's move on.
Well, we got three guys who I know the camera adds a few pounds, but let's be honest, we like our food. So we are very willing to talk about the upcoming holiday and the meal that will accompany it. But before we talk about the food upcoming, we want to remind you that there was a big game this past weekend, and the Big East needed a win in the worst way possible, boys. And it was UConn against BYU. It was a fun one, high scoring. Huskies looked like they were going to cruise. They built a lead as large as 20 in the second half, and then BYU came storming back. It was quite the finish. 86-84 ends up the final. UConn gets the win. Big East needed it, but I don't know if everybody felt great about it at the end. What did you guys leave? What was your emotions leaving that game?
Do you want me to say it as a UConn fan, or do you want me to say it as a Big East fan, or BYU? Like, where do you want my analysis to come from? Because they all say different things, right? UConn fans are crying about the whistle. Like, come on, man. Like, the benefit of the whistle went your way in the first half. The second half, maybe it went the other way. Who cares? It balances out at the end of the day. UConn fans are going to cry about everything. But they were up by 20. I think they found their point guard. That's the biggest thing. Silas Demery was impressive. And it seems like even though Dan is running, he's expecting a lot of them. Remember, I don't know if you guys saw the press conference a couple weeks ago where he was basically like, yeah, we're going to hold him accountable and I'm going to ride him tough. And it seems like it's going to turn out all right. Solo ball was not great, but that's all right. And then AJ DeBonsa had a better game, I think, against UConn than he did against Villanova. So UConn won. It's good for the Big East, right? The Big East struggled. At the end of the day, UConn won. UConn did something Villanova couldn't. I'm getting as many shots as I possibly can because I don't see you guys for 2 weeks. Go ahead, Dave.
I mean, I agree. I think whether you're a UConn fan or a Big East fan or whatever, at the end of the day, UConn won. You got a top 10 win. Especially for the Big East, this is huge given what the non-conference schedule has, how it's unfolded thus far.
5-0 Hall.
But I mean, like, yeah, they won. Like, every time you play, there are going to be things you can improve on. There are going to be calls you go back and look at and say, that's a bad call. But you found a way to win. You may have let BYU get on a little bit of a heater in the second half, but you found a way to win. And sometimes you're going to have to win games like that where you just start falling apart. I think that figuring out how to win in different ways is just as important as keeping that 20-point lead and blowing BYU out the entire game.
Agreed. But it was still a little bit concerning how they could not get stops in that second half. I mean, Devontae is a special player, but a guy who they didn't let take a field goal, I think, for a 10-plus minute stretch at one stage in the first half. Caravan did a great job on him. He scored 21 points in the final 16 minutes. UConn had no answer whatsoever. And for a team coached by Danny Hurley, that is pretty concerning because that's his thing. He always has an answer, and he just couldn't come up with anything. So that is something that they're going to have to go back to the drawing board on. There were a lot of positives, though. Terrace
But I mean,
go ahead.
if you're a UConn fan, does that not kind of make you excited that Dan Hurley has a legitimate gripe with his team that he can go back and practice and get on them for? It's not, I'm taking a timeout against a terrible team because you didn't get – this is a legitimate gripe against a legitimate team. I'd feel better about Dan Hurley being able to actually go back and practice and say, see, these are the teams that we're going to play if we want to win a national championship, and these are the mistakes you made, rather than calling a timeout, getting in people's faces when you're up by 30.
I think that's a good point. I'm just a little concerned that he thought he was at the stage where he needed to do the timeout, scream at people when you're up by 30. And it turns out you're more at the stage where you're going back to the drawing board and into mad scientist mode. I got total faith in Hurley's ability to come through in mad scientist mode, but that's where they're probably headed right now on the defensive end. But Terrence Reed was a beast in the first half. That's a really good sign. Kind of disappeared in the second half. Not as good a sign. But as you mentioned, Brian, Silas Demery more than picked up in his absence. Georgia transfer was the calm in BYU's comeback storm. I mean, a playmaker down the stretch, no panic. He executed and he created. And to me, that's the big thing for UConn. He's got weapons around him. You were just kind of wondering how long it would take him to figure out how to fit in, when to call his own number, and when to look for his teammates. He seemed to have no issues of doing that equation whatsoever in that game. I thought he was magnificent when they needed him most. And then that defense came through on the last possession. They denied Devonta. They forced a turnover when it looked like BYU was going to get the game to overtime. To me, that's a big silver lining. Jalen Stewart scoring 2 points isn't good. Silas Ball was I don't know what his deal was. Foul trouble, yes, but a lot of the fouls were silly. It was not a day he will want to remember. They're going to have to get that figured out. And then Caravan, who was so good in the first half defensively and was good all game offensively, I think he had his best second half on the end of the floor that he's kind of known for. So that's also something that they'll address moving forward. I think they have the pieces to fix it. It's not panic time, but it wasn't also something that necessarily – I'd be happy they won, but I wouldn't be celebrating the way it unfolded.
If this box score that I'm checking out, they shot 56.6%, correct?
Yes.
That's a pretty impressive number, shooting 57% the entire night. They had 21 assists on 30 field goals. Like, they're moving the ball. Like, I think there's a lot of good things. Honestly, I'm going to sound like a UConn fan. Maybe the whistle did affect them a lot more than really what the outcome of the game was, because I think they were able to get whatever they want on offense.
Did you think they were bad calls, though? I mean, I thought there was one or two, but
there's one or two. There's one or two that stand out, but I wouldn't. It killed momentum, I guess.
I thought it was over officious. I would agree with that, but I thought they called that both ways, and there was just a lot of fouls.
Yeah, and then
AJ
had 2 points in the first half, right, and then 23 in the second half, and he was getting every call, like he was getting LeBron treatment, in his fourth game. So I know I sound like a grumpy old Big East fan, but that's the way I'm going to live.
So I mean, I thought the refs were bad both ways, but also I think if you're realistic, the chances that everything that Matt just listed out happens in any one game at any point again this year are slim to none.
Yeah.
So you figured out a way to beat who we all think is going to be a really good team by the end of the year in BYU, when your stars were not performing the way they normally would. Okay, you can lose one or two a game, but like everything, I feel like in that second half started kind of looking like the wheels were falling off for a little bit there. But to be able to still figure out a way to win against a good team when all of those things are happening. I see that as a positive because that says, hey, this isn't going to happen night in and night out. So we won when it happened. Now we're just going to be even better when it doesn't.
So to compare like the top 3 teams in the nation, I know there's a Big East show, but Purdue has struggled already this year. Houston struggled a little bit with Auburn. This is Connecticut's little struggle, tough game early on. It's no big deal. They win, they move on.
Yeah, as they like to say on the Solid Verbal, another sports podcast, win your clunkers, right? It applies in football, applies in basketball too.
Yeah, definitely.
All right,
All right, Matt, we're ready to hear you rant, and this is our favorite time.
Well, we're talking Thanksgiving this week, right? It's coming up, and what's the best thing for a basketball fan during Thanksgiving? Obviously, the holiday is synonymous with football, but in the run-up to Thanksgiving, college basketball takes center stage. ESPN has very wisely created this entire marketing campaign called Feast Week that we've all looked forward to. Maui Invitational has been a staple on the calendar for years now. It just got better and better and better. And it had become one of the best events outside of March in college basketball. It seems to be going in the wrong direction, guys. I'm worried that it's on its last legs. If you listen to coaches, they don't like the tournament format anymore. It locks them into games against opponents that if they lose a game, they're all of a sudden going into a different side of the bracket and not getting the metric games that they need. And it also puts them into a situation where you're not sure when you're going to play. You're playing a bunch of games in a short stretch of time, which is not something that you do any other time of the year other than the conference tournament. So I don't feel like there's nearly as much momentum. Plus, it's a long travel. It's an arduous travel. It's not ideal for your classroom schedule. And I just wonder if we might be seeing these that were all the rage in the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and even early 2020s starting to lose momentum. Here's my evidence that might back that up. Feast Week, Maui Invitational, the creme de la creme, right?
Hey, hold on, because I know what team you're about to announce. Hold on.
Outside of Seton Hall, which I'm very excited to watch play.
And Will Wade's, the fighting Will Wade's.
Yeah, you got the strong you-know-what offer of NC State. You've got Washington State, Chaminade, who's there every year. Boise State, USC, Arizona State, Texas. I guess Texas is the headliner. NC State, like, are you excited for the Maui Invitational when I read you that field? I know you are, Brian, but it's the rest of the world.
Game 1, if we knock off NC State, we should be getting top 25 votes at that point. That's the whole reason. But I get what you're saying. I think Charleston, I don't know if you looked at the Charleston bracket. They broke it down into 2 different brackets this year. They put the Palmetto and the Lowcountry. So you're only playing 3. You only have 3 different outcomes, right, in the game. So, like, you kind of know where your quad ones. I think all the big schools, I think Xavier, I said it right, Clemson, Georgia, and I can't remember. West Virginia are all on one side, the Palmetto bracket. And then the Davidson, the smaller schools, the A-10, Boston College, they're on the Lowcountry bracket. So, like, you kind of are grouped in the – maybe that's the future for MTEs.
Perhaps it is. By the way, mean way to name it, though, Lowcountry for the lesser teams. That seems unnecessary.
Hey, I live in Lowcountry, all right? I live in Lowcountry. It's like I'm right there on the border of South Carolina, Georgia. I know what Lowcountry – that's actually a proper name. Have you ever had a Lowcountry boil? You're talking about food. Like, that's good eating. That's good eating.
I'll give you that. But here's the thing. That didn't even Feast Week, though. That's this week. So, I mean, that's one of those ones where that was always an appetizer. Maui was the main course, but the other ones that were always big, Orlando's got 8 mid-major teams. 8 mid-major teams. That used to have a Big East team, an ACC team, a Big 12 team. They've got 8 mid-major teams. Battle for Atlantis, headlined by VCU, St. Mary's, and Virginia Tech. Unless James Franklin's going there. I mean, really? I'm going to spend my Thanksgiving watch. I am probably, because I'm a sicko who just lives for this stuff, but I'm not nearly as excited about it as I would have been in the past. Like, what are we doing here? This is Look, I love my family. I love spending time with them, but I also love to have a distraction when you're in an overcrowded house, overstimulated. If the football game goes awry, there's got to be something else on that you can watch. There's got to be something on late at night after the football games end. That's what college basketball is supposed to be there for. And these fields stink. This is brutal.
Well, do you think? I'm wondering if these fields and the big teams have said, well, we're not going to participate. We're going to hold the bigger games back for when we're not competing against the NFL and the NBA on Thanksgiving Day.
Maybe, but I think Maui Invitational was appointment TV. The Wednesday before Thanksgiving, there's no football, and people tuned in to watch that.
Yeah,
I mean, that was for a lot of people, that was the start of college basketball season. I guess now it's kind of become those two games that sandwich. It was actually Tuesday night of this week. Those two games that sandwich the playoff committee rankings coming out in the Champions Classic. That for whatever reason, Michigan State still gets to be involved in, even though they've won one championship in the last 50 years. But whatever.
Well, yeah, the Maui field is terrible, despite, I guess, NC State being in there.
And it's hard to know who's going to be good is the other thing, too. I don't even fully blame.
David, you tread on water. You tread on water here.
Hey, do you think Villanova is a top 25 team?
No.
They got votes, didn't they, this week?
They're not a top 25 team yet.
I'm just saying they beat VCU by more than NC State just did.
That was an exhibition, but okay.
It was an exhibition, but
hey, Georgetown hang a banner.
Oh, my. All right, let's move on to our next topic before David starts to make all the exhibitions count. All right, here's where we got Thanksgiving. It's the best meal of the year. True or false? Let's start with that.
True.
It's just a precursor for Christmas dinner. It's a practice run.
Okay. I disagree, but I will say this. It is the most gluttonous meal of the day. How about that? You can't beat the amount of food that you are going to eat. You don't worry about your caloric intake. You don't worry about saturated fat. None of it. You just eat what's in front of you, and you are happy. And then you take a nap afterwards. A beautiful thing. So we decided, another beautiful thing, Big East basketball, right? We're kind of trying to figure out where the teams are right now in terms of rankings. We could have done, what are we thankful for? But we're not that kind of happy group of people. That's not our style. So we decided we would assign each team in the Big East one of the courses for Thanksgiving dinner. And that would kind of tell you what we're thinking about where they are as a program right now. We're going to start with the team we already mentioned, the UConn Huskies. And that belongs to one David White.
I mean, this might be the easiest. UConn is the turkey. Is there any doubt that UConn's the turkey? That it's the best. It's the best part of the meal. They are the centerpiece of the Big East. Whether you love the turkey or you hate the turkey, you can't avoid the turkey. It is there all the time. And every year people wonder, hey, is the turkey going to be dry? Did Dan Hurley lose too many guys to the NBA? What are his guys from the transfer portal going to look like? And every year the turkey turns out great. I mean, you can't have a better meal than the turkey right there. And that's UConn in the Big East right now. They are propping up the conference.
Real talk. Deep fried turkey, yay or nay? Every year.
Obviously, it's a deep fried turkey. Don't shake your head.
I knew Matt was going to say no. I knew he was going to say no.
How dare you? Yes, it's a deep fried turkey. It's the only way to do it.
Do you guys make your turkey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you deep fry it? You go outside and deep fry it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've never burned down your house?
No.
No, we don't do it inside.
I mean, if you thaw it and you dry it completely, you're fine.
That's what the temperature going to be like.
That's not what the internet has told me. That is not what the internet has told me.
I mean, if you leave an ice ball and you put it into boiling hot water, yeah, you're gonna have a bad time. But thaw it out, dry it, put some cayenne pepper, salt, perfect.
See, I don't like the taste of deep fried turkey. I'm not. I like a you. I
gotta go. He just said he doesn't like
break
the taste
down
of deep fried turkey.
You take 2 sticks of butter, you melt it. You take concentrated turkey stock. You start with 16 quarts. You boil it down to 1 quart. and you combine that with the 2 sticks of butter, and then you get one of those flavor injectors, and you just go to town on that turkey, and you inject it over and over again, and then you roast that turkey at a low temperature, take the foil off at the end, cover it with butter, and then make sure that it's nice and browned. That's 1,000 times better than your deep fried nonsense. That
Matt,
is good.
when you were
eating.
stuck in that bunker, did they
Every
beat you?
piece of turkey is like butter infused.
You know what? I don't have to infuse my deep fried turkey because it just turns out
it's just
moist.
perfect.
It turns out with oil. That's all oil. I couldn't disagree more.
I'm
all right,
so
Chef Boyer,
disappointed in
Janice.
you.
We're gonna go on to the St. John's. St. John's definitely the gravy. If UConn's the turkey, St. John's is the sidekick that makes the meal good. Because if you have great gravy, you have a great meal. I really do believe that with the turkey. So I think St. John's is that. If turkey's the most essential part of the meal, St. John's got to be the second most essential. So I just think. I don't know. I'm coming around on Ricky P's boys. I don't know what it is. The Alabama game, even though they lost, I'm coming around on this team. So I'll give them the gravy.
They look good against William and Mary. I'll give them that, and hopefully they'll be able to get their defense a little bit more solidified. Otherwise, the gravy's going to have a lot of lumps.
Well, that's what Rick is famous for, right? The defense. So that I think that's an easier fix for him. He couldn't figure out the offense last year. I think this year he can figure out the defense.
Let me just
You
tell
can't force guys to play defense. That's the problem.
Well, if you're not
guys want to play offense, you can teach them offense because they want to sort. You can't force a guy to play defense.
He's a defensive specialist. I saw him try to run a press in the NBA. Like he's going to get to it.
Is there a guy in particular you're worried about, David?
Nope, I can't think of anybody. Ian Jackson, is he
Bryce
on
Hopkins.
that team?
Bryce Hopkins.
By the way, here is your special note for how to avoid lumps in the gravy. It is cold stock, hot roux. Never get any lumps. You don't even have to whisk it out. Just make sure you stir it up a little bit. You get lump-free gravy. Here's my next.
Now, if you go to Matt's house, you're going to put that gravy on an oven roasted turkey.
How do you guys get gravy? How do you guys get gravy? You guys make
right out of the
gravy?
deep fryer.
How you getting gravy out of a deep fried turkey? You making it ahead? Is it turkey wing gravy?
You take it out of the neck.
That's not
you boil
gravy.
It on
That's you. That's you.
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
That's you of turkey. That's just all right. Here we go. All right, next thing. This is my turn. This is Creighton. They're the stuffing. Everyone loves the stuffing, right? No doubt about it. And the place we go every year, they make the best stuffing. It's just something to look forward to. It's one of the highlights of the meal, except this year, they're trying a new recipe. They're putting oysters in it. They added sausage, cranberry, something like that. And, you know, it's stuffing. It's the same chef. I assume that it's going to still be very good. But am I sure? Not after that game against Gonzaga, I'm not. I don't know whether Creighton is still Creighton anymore. That was jarring, that second half. I still think they will be fine. I still am confident that they're an NCAA tournament team and will end up a top 20 squad. But that second half, the way it unfolded, it wasn't just that it happened. Gonzaga's really good. I think they're better than everybody's giving them credit for, but that was ugly, man. And now that jarred me a little bit. And it's kind of like if you mess with my stuffing, it messes with my entire Thanksgiving dinner. And you've messed with my Creighton, and now there's a trickle-down effect to the rest of the Big East. Normally, they're your rock-solid team that you know you're going to get some non-conference wins from that you didn't get one to start the season this year.
Are you cooking the stuffing in the turkey? Or on the side?
No, honestly.
Well, it's not stuffing if you don't stuff it inside the bird. It's dressing.
I'm sorry, I don't like salmonella. So I we'll go with your Southern traditions and call it dressing. My bad. I'll give you that. But it's no. You don't. No, not good. All right, next one. Providence. Mashed potatoes. Okay, hear me out on this one. It's Thanksgiving staple. Everybody loves mashed potatoes. Who doesn't like mashed potatoes? Not stuffing, but it's right there. And it's a great opportunity to put gravy on it, right? You can get your St. John's mix. And, St. John's, Providence, good connections. Rick Pitino used to coach at Providence. Now he coaches at St. John's. Problem is, mashed potatoes is good fresh out of the oven. And this Thanksgiving dinner, it's not played in Providence, Rhode Island, just like not every game is played at Providence, Rhode Island. And you try to take mashed potatoes to a potluck Thanksgiving situation, make them ahead, they taste gummy. They don't taste right at all. They either get lumpy or they get too loose. It's a mess. That's Providence on the road, man. I don't understand how you can be that good at home and how you can struggle this mightily for this many years now on the road or in neutral site games. They've got to get that figured out.
Are they garlic mashed? That's what I need to know. How much garlic is in it? Whatever the recipe calls for, just triple it and put more garlic.
I was shocked when I first made Thanksgiving dinner, when I stopped going on the road for holiday tournaments during the pandemic and stopped ever since, how much butter goes into. I'd never made mashed potatoes before. I YouTubed how to make dinner because my in-laws, we have Thanksgiving with my wife's family, and they didn't have traditional Thanksgiving dinner. I said, I want traditional Thanksgiving dinner. They said, well, then you make it. So that was my thing. My gosh, that is insane. It's like 3 sticks of butter that go into a table full of mashed potatoes. I cannot believe that.
Are you sure you like Thanksgiving? You've complained about butter and oil now.
It's great.
Yeah,
it tastes good. Does it feel like when you're eating it, it's that bad for you? Like, if that's the thing about mashed potatoes, it doesn't feel like this wildly indulgent meal. And then you look and you're like, oh, shoot, that was like 2,000 calories.
That's the joy of it. Calories don't count. All right. Well, I'll take a Shaka Smart and Marquette. They are the ham. All right. It's an alternative protein there. Everybody, like Matt, rolls their eyes and says, ham. I don't really know if I like ham, but everybody knows the ham is delicious. And it pushes the turkey for, hey, am I going to go back for seconds and get some more turkey or some ham? Every once in a while, you want the ham, and it's pushing there. It's right below the turkey, but it's still good. And if you get a honey-baked ham and everything clicks, that ham can really push the turkey for dominance of the Thanksgiving meal.
That was not where I thought you were going to go with Marquette. I thought you were going to go that everybody ends up disappointed at the end of the year or the end of the meal if they chose the ham, because they always let you down in March, and that's the.
I'm sorry that I'm just an optimist, and I believe that one day they're gonna figure out the honey baked part of it, and they're gonna get that glaze on it, and they're gonna come around. I believe in Marquette.
And what you saw in that game earlier this year against Indiana made you believe that that's going to work out, that honey glaze is coming this season?
My eyes weren't working that day. I don't know what happened.
Wow. So leave a comment below. I know, Matt, you don't do ham for Thanksgiving, right?
No.
Ham is a huge
essential.
part
It's essential
of Thanksgiving.
I put these 5 teams because I think these 5 foods are essential for
ham
everything.
is essential.
It's essential. If you're doing
Just
it right,
do a Google search for Thanksgiving meal. I guarantee the
quality.
The first picture that shows up is going to be with ham on the table.
Yeah, it's on the side, but it's not.
I don't think
still there.
I don't think it's going to be the first picture. That I will defy you that is not true.
KB Brand, tell him he's wrong. Roast him in the comments right now.
That's perfect. Leave a comment about if ham is on your Thanksgiving table, but we're going to the comment of the week. KB Brand is back, David. You took a week off. KB Brand took a week off. KB Brand's back. David's out here handing out sweet tea prescriptions like St. John's, Providence, and Villanova didn't all trip over themselves this week. Relax till mid-December, he says. If we relax anymore, we'll be on the porch swing watching the Big East melt like butter in July. First of all, this goes back to the Southern thing. I think they really enjoyed the Southern. David, I already see you. People can't see you at home, but like your head's already turning. I'm just going to
KB, you don't want to come sit on the porch, enjoy a nice mint julep on a nice July afternoon in the shade? Oh, come on.
This is my favorite part of it. And Nova losing to BYU like they just learned basketball has two halves. That's a shot. It's almost like someone. That's a shot at you guys.
It would have worked better if Villanova played better in the second half, though. It wasn't
Exactly.
it wasn't UConn
Yeah, but
where they let it go.
Two halves.
Also, KB, were we expecting Nova to pull out that game against the top 10 team? I thought it would be a close game, but like they played well. I think they exceeded my expectations in that game.
Fair enough. If you want to leave a comment of the week, tell David why he's wrong every single week, like KB Brand. Just leave a comment right below, right here on the YouTube.
Hey, I love KB Brand, but also, how about the guy that was pumping the brakes on the St. John's front? Kudos to him. The St. John's fan that has not jumped off the bridge was saying, we'll be fine. Don't worry about it. So I just wanted to point out that not every Big East fan is in fight or flight mode right now. They understand that the season is not 2 weeks long.
I just want to point out that I didn't even go after like DePaul or Chicago, and KB's still coming at me. I don't know what I'm doing. I thought we were teaming up in honor of Sister Jean. I was with you, KB, me and you, fighting Brian. We could take him out.
It wasn't Brian going after DePaul. It was Matt. Didn't Matt?
Was it Matt?
Whatever.
I always, I mean, I've been talking up DePaul, and they let me down. I was pretty. I was salty about DePaul.
Well, it wasn't me. I tend to forget DePaul's in the conference.
KB, get him for that.
All right, Georgetown. That's me, and I'm going to need some Georgetown here in a moment. And it is an appropriate topic after we just talked about. People are a little bit disappointed by the start of Big East teams. Right? They season has not unfolded the way folks were hoping. So, what do you need when you're a little disappointed? It's kind of like the holidays. You love your family, but, not everybody's happy during the holidays. Sometimes there's some strife inside a family. Sometimes there's just a little anxiety that might creep up. So you either get the sweets at the end of the meal or you get the spirits. I'm not a sweets guy. I'm more of a spirits guy. But, whatever it might be, whatever floats your boat, that's what is there for Georgetown right now, because they've come up with not one, but two notable non-conference victories, beat Clemson, beat Maryland. They're the elixir right now. They're the numbing quality that those spirits will provide on Thanksgiving night if you, for whatever reason, decide to talk politics with your family. Not something I recommend right now. Just enjoy the spirits, enjoy your family, enjoy the conversation, enjoy talking about the Hoyas. They might be back. Good job by Ed Cooley and company. They still are a little iffy from three, but they finally knocked some down against Clemson, and it ended up being the difference. Maybe they turn the corner. Maybe they're ready, and they're exactly what you're looking for. They're that cold beverage or that apple pie, whatever it might be, or pecan pie, pumpkin pie, whatever you eat on Thanksgiving.
So Lenardi just came out with bracketology. I know it's way too early, but Georgetown was in his field. Not Villanova was actually the second group out, the second four out. So just to let you know, Georgetown's got recognition throughout the country. All right, I got Butler. This is so I grew up in the Northeast. Sweet potatoes were part of the meal, but sweet potato casserole, it just hits different. Like I'm telling you right now, with pecans and brown sugar and the way they do it in the South. Butter. There you go, Matt. There's some butter in this one. But the casserole, it's like dessert in the middle of your meal, right? Like you get to that sweet potato, and it's like, this is good. Butler is that fun team that I did not expect to happen. I predicted them to finish 11. Finley Bizjack is unreal. Like he's taking it another step with the talent around him. Ajay, even Kevin Durant is tweeting about him in the middle of the SMU game. SMU's playing Butler, and KD is saying, hey, this Bizjack's going off. This is a fun one, just like the sweet potato casserole. Like, yeah, you get everything, the turkey's traditional flavor. That sweet potato, that's a little different. It hits different on the meal, and I'm excited to watch where Butler goes, because I think if Butler and Seton Hall and the bottom, the ones that everyone expected to be at the bottom get better, I think this conference can actually get some help from the bottom. But that's just me. I'm that guy that's already on the bottom, right? I'm a Seton Hall guy, so like I'm always looking positive here. So potato casserole, Butler.
I like it. And also, by the way, big part of Thanksgiving is the Thanksgiving leftovers. Sweet potato casserole, not a very good leftover. And Butler,
But you eat it all. You eat it all on Thanksgiving. Sweet
I
potato
want
casserole.
let me finish my analogy here. Butler
Okay.
didn't come through with the leftovers last year. They had the great early non-conference portion of the season, and then they did nothing in conference play. We need to make them figure out how the leftovers can be edible with that sweet potato casserole this year. Although I do agree they have been better than I thought they would be at this stage of the season.
Matt Janis, the number one Thad Matta hater in the Big East Energy Network.
It was bad last year. Come on.
Fair enough. All right, who's got Nova?
We got Nova here, and they're mac and cheese. Not just any mac and cheese, though, the truffle mac. All right. Everybody loves a good mac and cheese, not even just at Thanksgiving, all year round. Problem was, Nova had a Michelin-starred chef making mac and cheese for years. He perfected the recipe. Everything was perfect. Then he retired. Brought in a new chef, had the same recipes, but it just wasn't the same. It was like the noodles were overcooked. Everything was bad. Now they brought in Kevin Willard. Kevin Willard walked into the kitchen. He's adding some fresh ingredients, adding the truffles back to the mac and cheese, getting it back together. It's not quite where we were, but we're putting something on the table that you're proud of. You're not ashamed to put this mac and cheese back on the table for guests to eat.
I like it. I'll remind you guys again. I picked them to finish fourth while you guys all below. So I'm all for this mac and cheese and K. Willard. All right, Seton Hall. I guess are we done with Villanova? I figured Villanova, that segment. I do the timestamps. That segment tends to be one of the longest ones.
He said it so eloquently. There was no need for a follow up. Yeah, he nailed it.
I rest my case.
All right, Seton Hall. Seton Hall is a green bean casserole because either you love it or you hate it. But right now, it's good. If you love it, they're 5-0. Like they're 5/7 of the way. Imagine their win total last year, and it's not even Thanksgiving. And maybe if they go 3-0 in Maui, before Thanksgiving they will have more wins than all of last year. They've got a big challenge there with NC State, but. As long as they don't end up playing Chaminade, that was our biggest thing on the Pirates vibe. As long as they don't end up playing Chaminade, and that means they picked up at least one there. I just agree. But going back to the green bean casserole, either you love it or you hate it. It serves its purpose. Some people cannot do a great job of green bean casserole. I've had some bad green bean casseroles. I don't know if you guys have. Like, shout out to my sister Sarah. She can't cook a green bean casserole. Like I'm just gonna say that right now. I don't know if she watches, but I'm just saying if you meet my sister Sarah, do not eat her green bean casserole. But some of them are good.
Drop a comment below.
Hey guys, is it fresh or is it the Campbell's soup? What I know there's actually a pretty torn set of opinions about that. Of some people like it, the canned soup version. Some people like it from scratch.
With my sister Sarah, anything's possible. It's like Kevin Garnett. Anything's possible with her, with the cooking. But green bean casserole is either you love it or you hate it, and that's the way I feel that Seton Hall is right now because either people are buying what's happening there. They won again tonight against New Haven, but they did what they were supposed to. They beat them by the spread, right? So Vegas, they're doing what they're supposed to. 5-0, and we'll see where it goes from here.
All right, I got Depaul. I've had strong opinions on Depaul. I don't know why I always end up with Depaul every time.
I give you Depaul every single time because like it's the story arc of this store. Of the show. It's like watching Matt.
At this point, it feels like I'm just eating boiled vegetables for Thanksgiving dinner. But that's not my pick for Depaul because that's not actually something anybody would serve. Here's Depaul right now to me. They're cranberry sauce, right? All right, we've been eating canned cranberry sauce that comes out of the can in that jiggly purple cylinder shape for years when it comes to Depaul. And it tastes bad. It doesn't taste good at all. They brought in a new chef. He's pretty good. He made plenty of good dishes in his past, and he's got all new equipment. That's what he spent last year getting. And so I was excited. I thought we were getting fresh cranberry sauce from scratch. Then the season started, and you know what popped out? That stupid cylinder of jiggly cranberry. I mean, what happened last week? The mid-major loss, and then you're in position to bounce back and get the win against Northwestern. I thought they played a pretty good game. I can't really insult the effort, and I think Northwestern has a chance. I mean, they've got a lot of talented pieces, and Chris Collins is a good coach, but Chris Holtman's a good coach, and that's a game you got to win, especially after you blew the one earlier in the week. You just got to figure this out. Baby steps are what you were looking for, and maybe that would be enough at DePaul with all the struggles. But the problem is now after you stub your toe like this early, you've got to make some significant strides just to get back to baby steps and get our faith back. My faith is gone. It's rocked to the core. There canned cranberry sauce again. I'm sorry, DePaul. I tried to be with you. I wanted to be your ally on the Big East Energy Network, but you're back to the ocean spray. It's awful.
This show's about hot takes. Leftover Thanksgiving turkey sandwiches, ocean spray cranberry sauce. It works for me. I'm going to be honest with you. Maybe you look at me a little differently, but I'm going to tell you right now. You put the turkey with the dressing or the stuffing on rye bread, mayonnaise, cranberry sauce. I can eat it all day. I can eat that all the time. Like anytime like a sub place has it, I order the Thanksgiving one because I can eat that cranberry sauce. So DePaul, after Thanksgiving, maybe it's a little bit better.
All right. Like that.
I'll tell you, my opinion has not changed of you. It's stayed exactly the same. I need no cranberry sauce. Leave that off my table.
All right, I'm going to wrap this up with Xavier. Xavier is definitely the canned greens. All right, living down in the South, I got used to real fresh greens, good greens, collard greens. Canned greens are just terrible. It's just absolutely terrible. And that's what Xavier, until tonight, of course, we were planning this out, and then Xavier wins by 30 points against ODU. But at the same time, it's been a rough go. Like to watch Pitino with that team, they look pretty bad against Santa Clara, and I can't get that out of my mind. And it's almost like eating canned greens for the rest of my life. If I try them once, that's what's stuck in my head. So until they can change the recipe a little bit, they're canned greens. I'm sorry to the guys from Roblox, because if you watch that show is they are so passionate and they love that team so much. Like I swear they had tears last week after the Santa Clara episode. They love them, but it's just not my thing, and it's canned greens.
I think that's a perfect analogy. I can't come up with a better one. I said to you, what's the worst Thanksgiving food? That's unfortunately what they are, and you nailed it. Very well done.
Matt, yeah, but you're going to do greens this year, like real greens?
I'm thinking about it. I actually, it's kind of funny you said that. It's either real greens or green bean casserole. I've never done that. I've done roasted vegetables in the past. Is my healthy item during Thanksgiving.
Real talk, I hate green bean casserole. I know I put them on Seton Hall, but I hate green bean casserole.
I should go with the real greens, you think? The collard greens?
Yeah, I can eat collards all day.
There's nothing better than college.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't make them for Thanksgiving. I usually make them for New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
That old, you eat the college for money, black-eyed peas. Yeah.
Matt, did you know about that? Did you know about that growing up in the Northeast? Because I did not until I moved down here, and I'm like, what? Like, we're supposed to do this? And I do it now every year.
I did. It wasn't part of the traditions with our family, but yeah, I knew of it, and I had collard greens. I just didn't. It wasn't a Thanksgiving thing. It was a special meal. It was Southern food. Is basically whenever I went to a Southern restaurant, you get the greens, and they're always so good.
Ham hocks, man.
All right, guys. Wait. Before we go to this, one thing at Thanksgiving, if you could only eat one, what are you taking off the table? What are you filling your plate with if you can only eat one thing?
I'm going Butler sweet potato casserole. I can eat that all day, man. I can eat 15 pounds of it if it's good. Like I've had one that wasn't that good, but sweet potato casserole.
I mean, that's hard. I guess this is not a homer thing. I love mac and cheese. I would eat mac and cheese all the time. If it doesn't matter, just give me mac and cheese right now, and I would eat an entire plate of mac and cheese.
KB, once again, he goes homer. So leave a comment below. Thank you.
Whoa.
I'm by the way, I'm stuffing. I treat stuffing like it's a Men in Black stick. You get it on Thanksgiving, you get it in the leftovers, and then you don't get it the rest of the year. You just have to pretend like it doesn't exist until next Thanksgiving, because that's another food I found out how god awful it is for you. And it would eat that. I'd literally eat stuffing 5 times a week. It is that good. I really do. I mean, when done right, when not, stovetop, but when you actually tear apart the bread, almost like bread pudding with butter and onions and celery. Oh, it's so good. All right, I guess we got to go back to talking about basketball. I would talk food on. I can't wait for Thanksgiving dinner. How about the games that are upcoming? Need another big UConn win, right? I think that's the biggest thing to look forward to.
Yeah, it's definitely that game against Arizona. Yeah. They got to represent the conference. I think the schools like Xavier has to be like it would be nice for them to be. I believe they play Georgia, right? Which them dogs are running wild right now. They score a ton, but it would be great to have Seton Hall pick up like NC State and all those schools that went to the MTEs. Got to be successful this week. So that's what I'm watching. I don't care who it is against. They just have to be successful during Feast Week. You guys?
No, I agree. I mean, I think that Friday, Butler and Xavier are playing 2 SEC teams. I mean, it's Georgia and South Carolina, but just wins over the SEC will be big for the Big East. Obviously, UConn, Arizona is the creme de la creme, but if I'm looking at other games that will be important, especially for the Big East standings as we get further into the season and going into March, I think picking up those wins against other power conferences are going to be huge.
I got one. It's completely under the radar, and it's not going to get you much winning it, but you can't lose it. It's Providence at Penn State. Penn State's not very good.
Penn State's terrible.
But that's a road game for Providence. You got to be able to go win that game. That's not the type of game you can afford the computer numbers to have Providence's road struggles come up and bite them. They've got to go to the devoid of atmosphere Bryce Jordan Center and win that game. It's not a hard place to play. The hardest place, the hardest thing about playing there is it's essentially like playing in a big building that's completely empty. I mean, it's like playing at Depaul back in the day when they used to play in Windcrust. Just treat it like that. But they got to win that game. You can't. Those are the type of games, the Big East, especially with the slow start to non-conference play. You can't have losses like that on your resume league-wise.
First of all, I'd also point out St. John's and Iowa State. I mean, if St. John's wants to be what they were destined to be this season, you can't drop another ranked matchup, especially against a power team. So
lumpy gravy.
By the way, that's terrible by me. I thought one of you guys would pick that, and so I had preordained.
I think we all probably thought somebody would pick it.
So I stuck with mine. My fault on that. David, your deep thoughts or shallow thoughts, as some of the commenters may have pointed out in recent times.
Wow.
Oh, my God,
guys,
bro. Look at this guy.
Really? Shallow thoughts? Okay, this is for real right now. What do you call a hooded sweatshirt that has a zipper? What would you describe that as? If you wanted me to go grab it for you, would you say that's a sweatshirt, a jacket, or something else?
Sweatshirt jacket is what we call it.
A sweatshirt jacket?
Yep.
What? That's too many words.
That's what I say to my kids.
Too many syllables.
Yeah, what?
Well,
what are you calling
the sweatshirt
that, Brian?
is the sweatshirt. The zipper.
What do I call
makes it a jacket. Sweatshirt
I don't even
jacket.
know what to call it.
But it's got a hood on it.
I call it the hoodie with the zipper.
Hoodie with the zipper.
That's more words than mine. How you killing me?
It's just a jacket, guys. If it's got a zipper, it's a jacket. Plain and simple. If it's got a full zipper, if it's got this is a quarter zip, clearly different. A sweatshirt is a crew neck sweatshirt. A hoodie has no zipper. These are clear rules. But if it's got a full zipper, it's a jacket.
See, I agree with all your rules until the jacket part. It's a sweatshirt jacket. A jacket is a jacket. A jacket is different material. Sweatshirt jacket is a jacket with sweatshirt material?
I'm lost of words here because I like
This is why
Sweatshirt jacket.
it's just a sweatshirt. Like, go grab me the sweatshirt, the blue one. Like, whatever. Like,
So
This is
what
why
am I supposed to do if there's a hoodie, a sweatshirt jacket, as Matt's calling it, which is just terrible, and a crew neck sweatshirt, and you say, grab me the sweatshirt? Which one do you want?
the crew neck.
no, I'd say the color. If they're all blue, they're all blue, and then whatever my wife brings me, like, that's what I'm living with. If that's what I'm asking.
See, this is the way. Wait a minute for a second, and I don't want to go down this rabbit hole too long. But this is what this guy does all the time, and this is what you got to watch. This is how you argue with David, because he sets up these situations to try to make you look foolish, but he leaves out one other item. What about if there's a jacket sitting there too?
Matt, that was not part of the
Hold on.
hypothetical.
Right.
Okay?
Hold on, I just Googled this.
You
I just
set up
Googled-
these
I just
scenarios
Googled this.
that only fit your thing.
I just Googled this. It's actually called a zip up sweatshirt or zip hoodie.
Zip hoodie
has
would
a
make
hood.
sense. I've heard that too.
Zip hoodie?
If it has a hood.
Am I in the Midwest calling it a zip hoodie? Hey guys, I'd like my zip hoodie. No, it's a sweat. It's a jacket.
There goes the Creighton audience. That was David White, folks. Sending your emails to him.
As long as it's not, oh shoot, KB Brand. No, brother, I didn't mean it, KB.
It's awesome.
Before David gets himself in any more trouble, I guess that will do it for this edition of Big East Beat. But we want to thank you so much for being with us and for being a part of this. We've only been at it a couple months, but the audience continues to grow. And as we get ready for the Thanksgiving holiday, it may be corny, but we really are so thankful for you taking the time out of your day to watch us do this nonsense. We have a lot of fun doing it, and it's only possible because you're there with us as an audience, and the interaction that we've had with you. And you may not always agree. I think somebody called me a drunk. I think somebody called me a criminal at one stage, but we love it. We really do appreciate it, and we want to keep doing it for a long time. So please like the videos, subscribe to the Big East Energy Network if you haven't already. Enjoy your Thanksgiving dinner. Hopefully it's not a deep fried turkey, and if it is, please be careful and don't burn
If it
down
is,
your
you
house.
just had the greatest Thanksgiving of your life.
And ham.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. For Brian Webster and David White, I'm Matt Janis. This has been Big East Beat.